I'm almost just recording to have something to edit because I actually finished editing all the videos, man. Isn't that? And I guess it's addictive. It makes me want to do more. And the process has something like, oh, it was cool just to see when I talked briefly about the notifications. And as I watched it, I was like, ooh, I don't like how you put that, Louis. I don't like how you said it or the words you chose. Which is, I mean, it's good. Now it's good because it helps again with the one making the videos. It shows where I what I output, and then I get to watch it and think like, oh, actually, I what is it like? I don't know. I don't agree. Basically, it's like a corrective process. I can see what I said and be like, oh yeah, I agree with that, or like there are particular phrases that I resonate with, or just agree with better. Like, oh yeah, that was good. That was well put. I agree with that. I think that, or that I like that, and I don't like that. I guess it's like a regression line. Again, I can't be asked to draw it, but scatter plot with loads of x's, and then you find the line in the middle. So the line in so this is the opposite. This is starting with a line of best fit on the scale of like who I am, who I maybe who I want to be as well. But like in the line of best fit here is, I guess, yeah, no, it's who I am, and then I see these scatter plots either side of the line, and maybe perhaps sometimes on the line, and it's just observing the difference between the plot and the line is good for me. Helps me put my future x's in closer to the line. I guess with like, yeah, fuck knows what the y-axis would be, but I guess the x-axis is time. As time passes and I put these markers to where I think I am, or the way I describe who I am. I quite enjoyed how expressive my face was when I was describing whatever it was, when I was just talking. In the process of talking, I quite enjoyed how, yeah, just my expressions, but as in facial expressions, I just found them quite expressive. And I guess I must be like that normally. Although perhaps, well, again, I don't know. But here I can see myself in the video, so maybe that really encourages generating feedback or output, facial output. Oh man, yeah, it hated me dancing around the word choice, not knowing that that was the word I was looking for. But as I like watched it in the editing, I was like, man, the word you're looking for is to choose who you want to be, choice of who you are. Like, and I just watched me not use that word for a few minutes, and it killed me. Like to the point where I put it in, in the text underneath, like, this is the word. The other words weren't terrible. It's just that they were all getting at that word, tending towards that word, if you will. Those were all like the little scatter plots on the other side of the line. And the line that I get to draw, even in retrospect, was that I was trying to say choice. Well, I think I should have been saying. There's also one like, I think I should have been saying this is another form of finding the line. So check it. I just got some new thoughts on again this idea of tending towards that line, that scatter plot. Like a plane, right? It could be flying through the air, but then sometimes I'm actually not sure what they're doing when they do this. I should pretty go look that up. But like they're ejecting something, right? They leave a trace through the sky of where they were flying. The point is you see where the plane went in the sky. And that's what I'll be doing by doing these videos, is leaving a trace. So I can see what I did and I can look and correct or just even think about where I've been going. Because all I do is get to the destination and just be like, what the fuck, how did I get here? And it's as if I teleported, but I know I didn't teleport, so I'd like to see how I went about getting there. And it's like in training, man, like professionals like record themselves like playing or practicing whatever it is that they do, their sport, to give themselves feedback so they can be better. And this is supposed to be me performing me, practicing being me. I don't really know. But it's definitely a basis for feedback for myself. I had the thought, Like when I watch these videos back, I understand me completely. It's so cool because you don't think in words. Basically, you don't think in sentences, and so each of the things that I say and the sentences I use to say them aren't perfectly conveying what was in my head. And as I rewatch it, I've got what was in my head plus what I said, and somehow that helps to see. I don't know, but I've got both of them because the words put what's in my head. Hearing the words that I said, like, puts those thoughts back into my head. What do we call thoughts? Like emotions. I've been talking like emotions and images. Not that I understand that at all or very well, not at all. But I guess that's what I'm seeing is the difference between the emotions, whatever's inside and whatever comes out. There is a difference in between them, and I'm seeing it, and I think that's cool, and I think that's got to be good for me, man. I feel like it's already been good for me. Plus, I keep saying it, and I do feel it. I mean it. Like I don't feel like I'm outputting very well into these videos, particularly because I really quite like the first one, and even the second one. The ones that the first one was the intro, 4 minutes 20, and the second one was at work. Third one was drunk ramblings. The fourth one was like post being drunk for a weekend ramblings. This may be the fifth. I mean, what do I know? Can't be asked to check. Point being is I'd like to be sharper. Even though on those ones I was ill, I really felt like what came out of my mouth just felt quite clear. Maybe that's just because enough time has passed, or because I watched those the most, or because I was forced to take time with those sniffs, or because I hadn't fapped at those times of recording them. That's something I'm going to track on these videos. There's no fap performance and changes. Like all those times that I have a thought about, like, oh, maybe that's no fap, or even just in general in life, like trying to spot the patterns. I'm going to try and update the status of what I'm tracking, all those patterns, and see if I can piece it together with the help of these videos. But even just now, I rewatched like the 5 minutes that come before this because, as you see, something's I've got fewer clothes on than five minutes ago, and I felt like it came. I felt better about it afterwards. So I don't know what to make of that. Maybe your videos just seem better afterwards. I'm not sure if it's the same with photos. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because one of them, and it's the same thing. Oh, I've got a point to make, finally. Not finally, but cool. So in photos, right, you take the photo and you're looking with your eyes at what you can see, and what I'm going to put it as like the ultimate HD. And then you take a photo and it's a representation of what you had, and it's just never quite as good as what you were looking at. But then later on, when you go like the next day or later, and you look at the photo and you're just fine with it because like cool, like it reminds you perfectly of what you could see. And here it's the same, but with thoughts and ideas, right? So at the time I was thinking this thing, and then I recorded it, took a photo of it, took a video of it, and output it with my words. Like the difference between them. So the difference between like the reality, basically the external world and the internal world, right? Whether it's been recorded with a photo or video, or with the sentences and the words that come out of my mouth. Both of them can be classed as internal and external. And at the time, the internal seems just incomparable to the external, and you're just like, oh man, this external, this is the external, this is the internal. You're like, oh man, this external seems shit, because there's just nothing, it doesn't really compare with this internal. But then later on, I'm not sure exactly what happens, but you're just okay with it. Either it's just because you're happy that it reminds you of what this internal was, or because it's just not as bad as it seemed at the time. I'm not sure. But I think that was a cool point to make. But I'm keen on stopping with the fapping, man. Maybe the fapping kind of reduces well, it's for meditating as well, but like reducing the difference between the external and internal. Gotta go, man. Just gotta cut these off, man.